Screen echoes from the valley, telling the African story.
When we saying that we will pause it, we will suspend this thing because of COVID-19, nobody know the date that COVID-19 will be wiped out. So COVID-19 come to stay. So with that, COVID-19 cannot stop us what we do. Only what we can do, we follow the protocol. We follow the protocol that the government has already been speculated for everybody. So with that protocol, I think we are good to go.
Over 2.7 million Africans are reported to have suffered from the COVID-19 virus in 2020. More than 65,000 died from it. A surge in cases by the last quarter of the year, combined with the emergence of more contagious variants of the disease, posed new challenges for Africa in 2021. Nigeria had our own fair share with 112,000 confirmed cases, 89,939 people recovered, but 1,449 died from COVID-19 in 2020. Nigerians must not relent in the fight to contain the spread of the pandemic. The fight will not take away the fact that the country still has other issues like insecurity while dealing with the coronavirus pandemic. The government still grapples with kidnapping, banditry, and Boko Haram terrorist attack. This, according to the government, is the reason to harmonize the country's data system, which is aimed at curbing criminal activities across the country. The continuous gathering of Nigerians at NIN Center pose serious risk. Comrade Buba, the president of Nupte, National Union for Postal and Telecommunication Employees, shed more light on this.
We not actually against the directives from the federal government to the Minister of Communication about the linking of names to SIM cards. However, as a union, we always rise against anything that will have to do with the loss of job. And if that policy has gone that extent to make some Nigerians to lose their job, I assure you that we are not happy over it. And once, as a union, when we tell you we're not happy over it, that means there is a plan to fight back. So definitely we're working towards fighting back and get the job of our members back to them.
Screen echoes from the valley, telling the African story.
The danger we face due to disregard for lay-down protocols, challenge of containment, coupled with the new strain of the virus, may yet be the country's undoing.
That is completely where the government got it wrong. Government is not supposed to have brought people under this pandemic to come and be queuing when they are preaching social distancing and they're bringing people to come and queue. There's nothing like social distancing here. Nothing like that. I don't know who are planning for government, who thinks for them.
We human beings now, when we are in process, because we just want, everyone want to do it. Everybody are rushing for the line for the day. But for them, they told us that if we are here where we don't behave ourselves, they will ask the security to drive us away. So that distance, they tell, but nobody do it. Nobody follow it.
I want to acknowledge the fact that COVID-19 is real. However, the way and manner in which government goes into activities at times makes one to think twice if COVID-19 is real. For instance, in this very issue that we're talking about, you don't mind the crowd that goes about anymore. Because since there was a kind of deadline and there is an apprehension in the society, everyone is making sure that he wants to link up. The timing is very, very wrong. Except we are trying to say COVID-19 is not real. I am aware that around December, I think either last week or December or thereabout, there was a circular from the federal government directed that officers from level 12 downward should stay off office. I think that was done to like combat the issue of social distancing. Now, does it mean that people that are going for the NIMSI, whatever, will not be affected? Have they been immune? Or what is our thinking? Because these are some of the things that make people to look at government as if the government of the day is not serious. You give directives that you know is detrimental to the health of people. If we can go for the registration or linking without minding the protocols of COVID-19, why should we ask officers from level 12 downward to stay at home? Why should we want worship centers not to go to their places of worship? Why should we focus on minor things? We want a gathering to be at least maybe 50 or less. Have we taken time as a government to go to the registration centers and to look at the crowd that are gathering there? In fact, I just took a deliberate walk to one of the centers. You will discover that even the face masks is not recognized anymore. People are pushing themselves. And how do we control this virus if truly we appreciate that it exists? Of course, it exists. Therefore, I think, as I have said earlier, the timing is wrong. It's wrong. If I might prefer a solution to what we are just talking about, I would have said if the registration is going to continue, then we should, have more centers and also make it in a way that so number of people can come out for the registration on a daily basis. Social distance must be observed in such areas. If we embark on such education, activities, people will actually appreciate the fact that COVID-19 exists, and they will now embrace the protocol of social distance and also other preventive measures. Otherwise, it's like we are just joking with ourselves.
The plan and its intention are well understood and welcomed by majority of Nigerians. The mode of execution of the plan, however, adds to the pain of the citizens already reeling from the numerous effects of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Our responsibility is to ensure that our workers are protected. And don't forget that this crowd that we're talking about includes our workers. If our workers are going for registration and are infected by this disease, this virus, it goes to say that it will affect much. Therefore, in order to prevent such activities, the union is saying no to it. In fact, we have already prepared ourselves to engage the Ministry of Communication, the federal government through the Ministry of Communication, and share our own view. Of course, that's the first thing that we intend doing. But by the time they ignore our own view, we also have our instruments on how to, stop some of these things. Because doing that is not as if we're against the policies of the federal government, but it is in a way we're trying to augment the success of their activities. Of course, federal government are not God. They cannot be 100%. I believe that if they had carried the union along, sit down on a table, look at issues together, we'll look at the implications and advice, and things will go down well. Knowing fully well that we have direct link with our members and even the society. So they take it from the top there. They ought to have linked up with us so that we can, source for ideas from the grassroots, and it would have been a better one. If we put it across to them and they fail to realize the importance of it, of course, we can't fold our hands and look at it.
Screen echoes from the valley, telling the African story.
They don't do anything. You just start for here.
I lost my phone.
Okay.
They have to direct me from MT office. I should go and do NIN.
Okay.
When I do it finish, so that I will not access to my SIM.
Okay.
To register whatever I wanted to register in the office before I get my SIM back. That's why I'm here. But as I'm here, I know that everything is fun. Nothing is not functional because these people, he said, is shut down for today. He don't do anything.
10 months is grossly inadequate, considering the population of this country and also the facilities we have in place that we can embark on this registration. You know, some have not even in the first place got their NIMSIN registration, talk more of linking it. So it's like 2 events at a time. And as I said, 10 months is grossly inadequate.
I went to a place last week to get it. It wasn't possible because of the queue there. Now that I come here today, they are now telling us that we should go to some other place that they are no longer here. And it's a problem to me because I received a test this morning that without having it, that will block my line tomorrow. That is what scared me, that make me to start running around looking for a place to do it. Now that I'm here, they are still telling me that there's no way I can do it at this very place today again. So it's a problem to me. I don't just know what to do.
My wife, we hope new picking for her. My shop is locked. Should I don't wait and dismiss now for school? Nobody will go collect them for school. I did here since morning to collect the additional car. You go for Ibro Hotel, then turn us to come in for this office. We come here, they say they know they work, they shut down. Maybe we go for Guarampa or Kuje, all these places. And I don't tired.
We can't fold our hands and see Nigerians being treated in this manner. We have proof that this 10 months is not enough. And with the population we have in this nation of over 200 million people, with the inadequate facilities that have been provided for this registration, at least we have a lot of issues. I want to assure you that even if it is for us to go to court on behalf of the citizens, we'll do that to ensure that there is an extension of time so that people can get registered. Honestly, if I will rate the percentage of awareness created so far on this issue, I might say maybe about 20%. Because, as I said, we ought to be part of those that will campaign. But we are not informed officially. We got the knowledge on pages of papers and maybe on address of the minister. Talk more of somebody that is living in the village. They always call them, when GSM was coming to the nation, I remember the former president Obasanjo said, even Palm tappers will have it. We thank God that it has gotten to that level. Palm tappers have their GSM. You can see them even on top of their whatever. They will be answering calls. Such information has not gotten them. I believe that in most cases, some of them, like the market women, the most they can do is to use their telephone to answer calls. If the government of the day is claiming that they sent text messages or whatever, how many people do you think read text messages? Therefore, the sensitization is very, very poor, even at this point that we're talking. So, to get people embark on it, having people to go into the exercise is difficult because they have not been informed properly.
Calling for this registration during a pandemic poses its own challenges as it puts citizens, especially the elderly and people with pre-existing conditions, at risk.
We have made arrangement for the elderly people, the handicapped, and can you imagine a 66-year-old man coming to the queue with pushing me around with 25-year-old people pushing me around for 4 days now? They know arrangement, and these people working here, you won't even know they use their money to buy data to be able to work for government, which is unfair.
In a system where the senior citizens are not considered, it's like we are like calling for a curse, attracting curse to ourselves. It's just like you have a father in the house and you fail to make appropriate arrangement for him. So I would have, and I would still advise that it's not late. We can still provide a solution to that. Within an area, within an environment or society, the government can go out and at least enlist maybe the number can do it to them at, within the areas that they are living. Now you see, even aside going to them, one thing about Nigerians, which I have heard officers, senior officers in the NIMSI and where the registration is done, they try to deny this claim. That there were claims that people pay money to get this thing done. I want you to know that even this senior citizen, if something is not done for them, the eagerness, the zeal, in fact, also the fear, because there is like, if you don't do it for so months, you will be cut off communication. Nobody wants to stay isolated. Therefore, that's why you see people struggling, not minding whatever effects that will be at the end of the day. Therefore, I strongly want to make an appeal on behalf of the senior citizens that something should be done. Create, even if they are to come to the present centers, existing centers, there should be at least maybe one particular point that will be assigned for them. If we find it difficult to go to them in their locations and they are able to assess where these activities are carried out, there should be a point that is created for them alone and somebody is attending to them. I believe that when we do this, they will pray for us, as I said earlier, and the prayers of such people goes a long way.
Screen echoes from the valley, telling the African story.
If they lock the people phone or SIM card tomorrow, it means that everybody's millions of people from Nigeria, nobody has already getting it. If they lock it tomorrow, it will affect everybody. Okay, now I'm ready to come. Other people are there for so many places to get it and no way.
My advice to them is to extend it so that people can be able to get their own and do the necessary things there.
The union is very much ready and interested to collaborate, to partner. Therefore, in such activities, once in a while, they should get in touch with us. They should call us. We are their boys, so to say. We can sit down, look at things, and at least when we agree, we can promote it collectively, and it will go a long way in a better way than the way they are going.
Screen echoes from the valley, telling the African story.